In this video, we'll be taking a look at all today's NCAAB matchups, and I'll break them all down with free winning picks so you can bet smarter and win bigger. But first, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get our picks the second they drop, because when the lines move, the early birds cash in. And if you want the full winning sport picks experience, head over to wspicks.com and check out our VIP packages, or grab a free consultation with one of our professional sports consultants for the sharpest edge you'll find anywhere. That's where the real plays live. We are your bookmaker's worst nightmare. These are the games we're hammering, the ones the books can't afford you to bet. This is Winning Sport Picks. The free picks are about to drop, and they're coming in hot. Kansas walks in catching plus 4.5, while Tennessee lays 4.5. And whenever you get two high-level programs priced inside one or two possessions with a total hanging at 138.5, the tempo edge becomes everything. Kansas plays with more controlled possession structure, which naturally keeps games inside narrow bands, while Tennessee's physicality tends to create scoring droughts rather than blowout runs. When the market holds a line like this steady, it's usually signaling that the dog has the cleaner path to covering, because these games tighten late and free throws decide margins, with both teams likely grinding through long half-court sequences. This shapes into a dog and under type matchup, and that's why I'm taking Kansas plus 4.5 and the under 138.5. St. John's comes in catching plus 5.5, while Auburn floats around -6. And this is that perfect high variance spot where the underdog becomes dangerous. Auburn attracts public steam because of their athletic identity, but St. John's thrives in chaotic pace with long rebounds and transition bursts. Exactly what inflated totals like 167.5 are built on. When the number climbs into this range, the dog becomes more valuable because more possessions mean more scoring swings, more runs, and more chances for the underdog to punch above expectation. Auburn may still win the game, but separating by 2 or more possessions in a track meet becomes far more difficult. That's why I'm taking St. John's plus 5.5 and the over 167.5. NJIT enters catching plus 42.5, while Louisville lays the same number. And when a spread pushes past 40, it immediately becomes a discipline game rather than a talent game. Louisville should dominate early, but favorites in this range almost never maintain clean scoring arcs for an entire 40 minutes. Second units, slowed tempo, and late game coasting make it extremely hard to cover these inflated numbers. And with the total sitting at 156.5, the books expect scoring, but also expect long plateaus where the blowout slows to a crawl. All NJIT has to do is avoid a disastrous first 8 minutes, and the number becomes playable. That's why I'm taking NJET plus 42.5 and the under 156.5. Gonzaga shows up catching plus 1.5, while Michigan is around plus 1 on alternate postings, which tells you the book doesn't want to commit either way. A pure coin flip with the total in the 160 to 161 range. These kinds of matchups usually tilt toward the side with better late game execution and steadier half-court identity, and Gonzaga brings that exact profile. Michigan's scoring relies on rhythm-dependent stretches, while Gonzaga has shown they can withstand pace changes without losing efficiency. When totals get this high, you expect long runs on both ends, which makes that extra half point extremely valuable. That's why I'm taking Gonzaga plus 1.5 and the over 160.5. NC State walks in laying -2.5, while Texas catches plus 3 depending on the board. And this is the kind of matchup where the opener tells you the truth. NC State's structure wins these midline games more often than not. Texas has scoring bursts but doesn't sustain long possessions nearly as well as NC State, and totals around 157.5 signal a moderate pace where execution matters more than raw talent. When matchups slow slightly, the more disciplined favorite gains the edge, and NC State's ability to control shot quality makes them the more reliable side. That's why I'm taking NC State -2.5 and the over 157.5. Now listen to me, those are the free picks, but the one game I am unloading on tonight, the game that's going to crush your bookie's soul, that's the VIP play of the day at wspicks.com. This is the nuke, the hammer, the max bet, the one play I've circled, the game that will bury your bookmaker 6 feet under. When it hits, and it will, your bookie is going to need a doctor, a lawyer, and maybe even a priest. If you want to ride with me on the biggest bet of the day, get to wspicks.com right now. In recap, I'm rolling with Kansas plus 4.5 and under 138.5, St. John's plus 5.5 and over 167.5, NJIT plus 42.5 and under 156.5, Gonzaga plus 1.5 and over 160.5, and NC State minus 2.5 with the over 157.5, all straight from the numbers you sent and the way these matchups project to play out. This is Winning Sport Picks, where we don't just bet, we bury bookmakers. Smash that subscribe button, drop your favorite plays in the comments, and hammer that like button like you're hammering your bookie into the dirt. We're cashing, we're dominating, and tonight we're dancing on the grave of your bookmaker. Let's go!